All right, everybody, we're here at New York Comic Con with three members of the cast of Gotham. We have the Penguin, Commissioner Gordon, and Barbara Keene. And I want to ask you guys now. I'm all caught up. The last episode ended with a very curious visit on your part to your guys' apartment. Nothing like, Penguin showing up at the door. You want to tell us, maybe tease a little bit about what the hell are you doing there?
Just causing trouble. Yeah, I mean, that's his whole thing. No, I mean, yeah, he's back in Gotham City, and he owes Gordon his life, and I think he's going to use that relationship, just like he uses every relationship, to his own advantage. And yeah, we're just going to see more of that happening. Yeah.
Now, Jim Gordon has been accused of murder and corruption now by colleagues, which really sucks because you're the only good cop in the town. So what does Jim think about his own department at this point in time? I know he's primarily dealt with Bullock, but he doesn't seem like he's quite making friends. So.
Yeah, he's not making friends. He's sort of alienating pretty much everybody at this point, including his fiancée. Who he has to be rather short with in the scene with Oswald. Oh, this is a friend from work, who I hate. He's stumbling through, which I kind of love. Like he's no one to get advice from, so he's just sort of thrown out there, and he's kind of left to his own devices. As bad as it is for him right now in the GCPD, it's going to get worse as we go forward, and that's great. I mean, my philosophy on this stuff is dig the deepest, widest, darkest hole you can for your lead character and watch him fascinatingly try to crawl out of it.
So these are the golden years, then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
This is as good as it's going to get. This is the up
it
point.
actually
All
goes
right.
downhill from here and keeps going downhill forever. Yeah.
This is happy place.
Exactly.
Happy place right
Exactly.
Well, I want to ask about Barbara and Montoya. Now, Montoya is pointing the finger at Jim. She doesn't have the whole story, but I have a theory. Is she kind of doing that just as a pretense to go visit her ex?
That would be nice. I don't think she is. No, she's a really dedicated cop, just like Jim is, and obviously they're on slightly different sides of the force. But I think she seriously believes that he's done this, and she also very much cares for Barbara's character. So she's really trying to get Barbara out. I think it's like a little added bonus that it means she gets to come and visit her a few times. But she's worried for my safety and just for my general kind of character and my upstanding in Gotham. She doesn't want me seen dragged down with this one. So she is looking out for me.
Well, she's probably going to fail at that because I think everyone's going to end up burned at some point, right? In Gotham, how tough is it for you guys to you know where your character is going to end up to essentially play sort of being oblivious to that. Maybe I'm not phrasing correctly, but it's got to be tough to know. Like, I know the end point. Like,
well, yeah. Except, I mean, I take your point, and I understand where it's coming from. But you right now today don't know what's happening to you in an hour. You don't know what's
I'm
happening.
about to get on a plane, so that's not cryptic.
Sorry.
My last interview.
You'll buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the in-flight movie is. But we don't, and that's life, right? You have no idea what's happening literally the next minute, and it constantly surprises you, and best laid plans are usually thrown out the window immediately as things change. So I think it frees us because we don't have to. We do what we normally do as actors, which is we play our objective in the scene. We play our motivation, and we work with our fellow actors to make the scenes as good as they can. Whatever happens in the future is not playable and wouldn't be known by these people anyway.
Right. Now, I'm curious, how good of a dishwasher is Paulo?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Well, he's going to fail upwards, though. So this is like the theme of Gotham is, you suck at something, you're going up.
He's a terrible dishwasher, but then all of a sudden, all the other dishwashers keep disappearing. So he gets better and better and better.
He keeps getting more and more shoes.
Yes, exactly.
He's got quite the shoe collection at this point. Now, I am curious, though. Can you tease a little bit about the relationship that he's going to form with Maroni and sort of, there are hints about Arkham Asylum. So Maroni and Arkham, and what sort of role Oswald will kind of play in that?
Well, Oswald is sort of infiltrating his way into the Maroney family, and we see the starts of that in the next coming episodes, and Maroney is directly connected to Arkham and all of that, and so Oswald's doing what he does, where he endears himself and becomes invaluable to that person, just so that he can play that person off another person and turn it all around and all for his own benefit. And so, that's the start of where we're going with that,
I know this is an incredibly nerdy question, but what the hell? We're at Comic-Con and I'm IGN. So is this a place that he's working at? Is it going to end up being the Iceberg Lounge someday, the Penguins kind of club hangout?
Yeah, I have no idea, but it'd be fun.
It is now. It is now. We made it happen.
Have you seen his tie? I've just noticed. It's like little Fish Mooney tie.
Oh, my God. That's right.
It's my homage to Judah.
There we go. So actually, let's talk about Fish Mooney and that sort of the kind of the conspiracy, the ongoing conspiracy with the Wayne murder and who's involved and who isn't. Is that do you guys know? Is that going to be a storyline that will play out? Excuse me, throughout the entire series, or is that strictly like a season 1 kind of arc for now, or?
It's probably to be determined, but it's definitely a season 1 arc. It's probably the ongoing sort of case that never quite gets solved, but layers get peeled back. Right. You will start to understand how many different people are possibly complicit in the murders. Not only Falcone and Maroney, but quite frankly, characters you haven't met yet on our show,
right.
But that are from the mythology, and it's really fun because you can sort of tease endlessly all of these different people, and you can also show how interrelated everything is. Our origin story of Arkham and how it became an insane asylum is fascinating because it has to do with sort of the corrupt politics and power plays involved between Maroney, Falcone, using the councilmen in episode 4 as pawns. If they don't vote for their vision of Gotham or a vision of Arkham, then they are killed brutally.
Well, I mean, this sounds like it's getting pretty French, like you're going to start locking up political prisoners and all that. Wow, okay. Now, Barbara is, how much patience will she ultimately have for the kind of ongoing nightmare that will be Jim's life? Will we see maybe the characters split up at some point, get back together?
Well.
You mean like on tomorrow's episode?
Well, yeah, I mean, they have a pretty fraught relationship. I think it's safe to say that. They very much dedicated to each other's, the love that they have and the respect that they have for each other. But, you've seen already in just the first 3 episodes, the secrets that they're hiding from each other run pretty deep. Yeah. Mine in terms of my history and yours in terms of what's going on right now. So those two things do not, they're pretty hard to mash up together. So I think you're going to see quite a fair bit of turmoil in our relationship.
And I have to ask about whether or not, especially Oswald, will he start, because he's going to be aligned with Maroney, will he possibly start interacting with some of these other supporting villains or the kind of the cameo villains? Will you ever run across, say, Selena, since she's a regular on the show?
I could only hope so. I mean, that's my dream, is that, especially with Selena played by Cameron Bicondova and also Nigma played by Corey Michael Smith. I mean, you just want. I mean, I'm desperate for us to go long enough so that we can see those relationships start happening. Like there's one scene coming up. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but where you do see some of the just a hint of the interaction, and it's so exciting. Like that's what you really want to sink your teeth into, or what I want to sink my teeth into anyway. So.
Now, I talked to Bruno at the TCAs, and he had told me a little bit about Arkham, and he said that Hugo Strange is going to be on there. Have you guys filmed any scenes with that character yet? He's a personal favorite character of mine, because this will be his live action debut. So.
Yeah. I think, don't quote me on it, we have not filmed it yet, but I believe that is next on our filming schedule. I believe that's.
Has it been cast yet or anything?
No, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. But Arkham plays a central role in the first season, and will, because once we've established it, and how it came to be, will be an ongoing place that we go to for, because at the end of the day, these bad guys have to go somewhere because for the most part, we don't kill them. Like the huge, massive villains can't be killed because they have to survive and live in the future. So a lot of them go to Arkham, where unfortunately they're housed with other crazy people, and they only get worse. They only get crazier and more terrible.
Well, that's Gotham for you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for taking time out today. I hope the con has been well for you, and best of luck with the series. For more on Gotham, keep it locked here on IGN.